Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Confess It, Baby.
Welcome. Today we have a very, very important topic. I think this
thought
one
you were going to say
home.
special guest, and I was
Oh,
like,
no. Where are they?
God.
No, last week that was the special guest. God. Literally, we're going to need God for this episode because we're going to get into it. This one hits home.
It's going to hit home for a lot of people.
For a lot of people, you guys are going to relate to this issue we have here. So I came across this recent kind of study that lists some of the college majors with the highest unemployment rates.
Oh, God.
And of course, what we studied is in this list.
Is it the first one?
It's actually, I don't think they're in order. Okay. So it says the top 10 U.S. college majors with the highest unemployment rate. So we have art history first, number 1. Number 2, liberal arts. Number 3, fine arts. Number 4, this one was surprising, aerospace engineering. Am I saying that right? Aerospace engineering?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are like the people that work with the...
Is it NASA? I don't know what they do. Is it?
I think it's the people that maybe like fix the plane engines and like build the planes and like the engineering behind planes or anything that can fly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's kind of scary to think. Why is there so many unemployment rates in that?
I'm wondering if it's
major.
because of robots. Because you know how like there's a lot of car factories that are going into like
That's
the
true. The robotic,
you know, the
sector
robotic. So I'm wondering if that's a thing with planes too, and it's like taking over jobs.
It could be.
But that's crazy because that's a hard major.
It
requires time. It's engineering. You're an engineer.
And it's an important one too because, I mean, our planes nowadays.
That's how we travel.
Yeah. And wheels have been falling off. Oil has been leaking. Like, that's kind of scary to think
Maybe
about.
that's the reason.
It's all because of the robots. All right. We got
robots.
history, number 5. Number 6, English language.
Okay.
Because it's like, what else do you do with like English?
You only
major?
teach or like write.
Yeah.
I think. Or maybe even
you could write.
You could work for like the newspaper too.
True.
But that falls under communication as well.
Yeah,
journalism.
that would fall under journalism. So then we go to mass media. So it's kind of it's journalism, communications, all of that.
Which, by the way, you don't need a degree in that to get into the field.
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Some of the most successful people I know
that's true.
That are on Telemundo didn't finish school.
But that's the Hispanic station because for the English one.
Yeah, for the English, I feel like they would require it. But for the Spanish, is like, oh, you're Mexican, Colombian, you have a Spanish accent, let's go.
Yeah, and you express yourself good, you're hired.
You're pretty, let's go.
You're pretty, yeah, let's go.
And obviously, you have to be somewhat smart and knowledgeable about what's going on in the world.
Exactly.
But,
number 8, physics.
Oh.
What do you do with physics? Actually, you can be a physics professor. I feel like I have a friend that her fiance is actually a physics professor.
Really? Don't they make good money, professors?
Yeah, what's that university in New Jersey? It's like an Ivy League.
Oh, don't talk to me about geography
I don't know where it is.
Now, girl.
Anyways, I think that's kind of the major. Number 9, commercial art and graphic design.
I believe that. You want to know why I think that's the reason?
Why?
Because of Fiverr. Websites like Fiverr. There's a lot of people in other countries, even here too, that have a side gig of doing it on the weekends or at night from home for a decent price.
That's true.
Therefore, these huge companies, whenever they need graphic design, instead of hiring someone full-time, they just log into these websites and request a quote for whatever project they need. And, you know, they don't spend as much money and they don't have to make that commitment of like hiring someone, having to interview people, looking for qualified candidates.
And it's not necessarily a full-time job too. It's like a part-time or not even. It's just like, here's the gig, do this for me and that's it.
You're not always going to need a flyer.
Yeah.
It's only certain times. So I can see why that's a thing. And you know what? I know a lot of graphic designers and it's not easy.
It's not an easy job.
It's Photoshop Central. Photoshop is
like
hard to use
too. Yeah.
And now with iPads and whatever that app is called that you can create and paint and turn it into flyers.
Illustrator or something?
Yes, Illustrator, something like that. Dude, a lot goes into these graphic design projects.
Yeah, no, and they take time
It's not an easy task. So you definitely have to go to school for it. It's not something you can you can't self-teach yourself.
Yeah, I feel like you could self-teach yourself, but it's not like, I don't know, like I never really see either like a job posting for that either.
Yeah.
Like if you need someone to do a graphic design or something for you, like you just go to Fiverr or you find a person who knows somebody who knows somebody.
Or you dig into Canva. That's what I do.
Exactly. That's so true.
Download a template and do it yourself.
Especially with Canva now, you really don't need a graphic designer. You could figure it out yourself.
Yeah. But it sucks because the quality is different. You know, it's more personalized. But I see flyers like, for example, the Coachella flyer, the Ultra flyer. Every single year,
it's the same one, right?
Kind of the same.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
They might change the colors here and there, maybe add a couple palm trees for the Coachella one, or change but it's always the same
thing. It's literally the same thing.
It kind of makes me wonder, it's like, do they hire that person just once a year to come in and do those edits and that's it? Or do they keep them year round and just
I feel like they would keep them year round, or they'll have the template and just fill it in.
Yeah.
That's definitely what it is. Number 10 on that list is sociology. What the heck do you do with sociology degree? Don't you like study people or something? Because I remember taking a class like in college.
Yeah, I remember taking a class, but right now I'm drawing a blank. I don't even remember what I learned. It's definitely about people and like...
Yeah, but I don't know what we learned. I just know it was about people.
But what do they work in aside from teaching? Do you know?
No.
I don't know.
I was thinking like social worker, but I don't even think it falls.
That could be it. Yeah. Because, well, technically to be a social worker, you don't need a degree.
Yeah, you don't.
You don't need a degree to be a social worker. You just need to have some human skills, communication skills.
Yeah. So do not study these majors in college, basically.
So what does that leave us with? Like, what do we study?
Listen, I'm getting like comfortable here and laying down and shit. I feel like nowadays it is not about doing what you love at all. I feel like we grew up with our parents saying, study to be a lawyer, like you mentioned today, study to be a doctor.
You have to be a doctor.
Or do what you love so you feel like you will never work a day in your life.
Oh, no.
That is bullshit.
My parents never told me to do what I love.
No, my parents always told me, do what you love, do what you love. And yes, you can be happy, but money brings happiness.
I mean, in this city that we live in, this beautiful city our parents picked.
Yeah, very expensive one. Sometimes I wonder what would have been like to grow up in like the middle of Ohio or Idaho or North Dakota. Yes, it could have been cold, but I've had so much land.
Yeah, I'd be rich
so there. Much. I would be rich there too. I'll come here, buy stuff and then take it back over there. And
but it's not the same, you know, like we live in a beautiful city where people vacation basically, but that comes with the cost of living in it, which, for example, right now I refuse to move out of my house because if I'm not moving into like a nice area like Brickell, Coral Gables, The Grove, Midtown, I refuse to go to Homestead, which is technically what I could be able to afford, and with a roommate,
and with a roommate, big houses too. You have so much land.
For sure, but you're so far. And like for example...
But I feel like it's up and coming.
It is.
Trying to convince myself it's up and coming. By the time I could afford it, maybe it'll be even better.
Yeah. I mean, no, it's definitely a super nice area. But for example, I was born and raised here in Little Havana.
Yeah.
I'm technically no more than 15 minutes away from anything. The beach, 15 minutes away, maybe after 10 p.m. No, because now the construction.
Now there's traffic, construction, maybe
for
a little
example,
bit more.
Wynwood is literally 8 minutes away from my house.
Yeah.
Brickell, 5 minutes away. The Grove, 4 minutes away. Like it's so close to everything. So I'm so used to just paying no more than $20 for an Uber.
Yeah.
Not sitting in traffic for over an hour. So the thought of moving away because I can't afford it here by myself is like, it's scary.
Yeah, but what does that leave you with? Hustling more?
Basically, well, I was reading something on Facebook. Someone posted this a few days ago that they were saying in order to live a nice, decent life in Miami, even if you have the most successful job, you still need some sort of side gig.
Yeah, you have to.
And it's acceptable. A lot of people hide it. They're like, oh no, like having a side gig, even though I work at this firm, whatever. It's okay. It's okay to have several side gigs. I feel like I have 5 different jobs right now.
No, you do. But I feel like the number one side gig in Miami too is OnlyFans.
I know, which is not one that I'm part of
exactly.
yet.
So it's hard to compete because that's where the money is.
Yeah. But
it's
even
so crazy
then,
to think that it's sex
that's
work.
where the money is. But even then, there's a lot of people that are on OnlyFans and they're still not making money because the only way to make money is to have a following.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes
put
back
yourself
to like,
out there, or have like, I call it a pimp, like a modern day pimp, someone who runs like and markets your account.
Yeah.
Because they're out there.
Yeah.
There's like people that do that shit.
Where are they? I need to meet one.
The pimps don't
give me the right direction, please.
Listen, they're out there. They're just like, they know their circle and they know how to handle like each account, how to monetize and how to market all the girls without putting their face first. Yeah. There's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. But this episode is not about us telling you got to be an OnlyFans to make it in Miami. That's definitely not.
You can.
But you can. There is that option.
If you see potential in yourself, look into it.
Exactly. And if you're out there and that's how you're making your money, you go, girl.
Yeah,
or guy.
I support that. Honestly, it's still a hustle. And it's, in my opinion, it's work. It's work still. They're putting in work to it.
It is.
They're,
But then again, I feel like it's so unfair. Like all the money those people are making compared to others that actually went to school to do stuff. Because nowadays, those OnlyFans models and shit are making more money than a freaking doctor who's out there saving lives, working around the clock 24/7, and we're in school for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And that is
forever.
So sad.
When you're a doctor, you have to constantly keep learning.
And that is so sad to think about.
It's really sad.
Especially in all these Instagram, like social media influencers too, making more money than a freaking doctor.
Yeah, that's where the money's at.
And that's where the
money's at.
Exactly.
I know so many influencers that are making such good money, but they also have to hustle, especially if they don't have an assistant. Like these gigs that they're getting, they're going after these gigs and making these connections. And obviously, like we know this firsthand, finding people to collab with, products to collab with, companies to collab with is not an easy task.
It is not an easy, and you're going to get 10 no's before you're going to get one yes.
So the fact that they're thriving off of all these collaborations, like must mean they're doing something right.
Yeah, they're hustling it.
They're hustling. So I mean, I've tried becoming an influencer, but like I said, it's not easy. And then like I'll do it consistently for 1 week, and the second you stop posting, like everything just goes downhill. You lose your engagement, you lose followers. If you post one wrong thing that like maybe a company doesn't like, they're like, oh, you don't fit our brand guidelines. So it's like so many little things that go into it. And like maybe one post will blow you up.
Yeah. And like that's, what do you call it? It's like a lottery. Like
it's
you don't know which one is like gonna like make you blow up. It's like literally like playing the freaking lottery, which is insane.
And the sad part is like I think I would be an amazing influencer.
Yes, me too.
Like I love showcasing products and telling people about everything that I'm using and like things that I'm participating in, events that I'm going to, but it's hard.
It is hard, and honestly, I'm really lazy. I'm really lazy.
You're not lazy. When it comes to work, I feel like you're very on top of it.
I am, but the things that I don't like, you mentioned that those influencers making those money, they're hustling it. Yeah. I don't like hustling it. I like to be hired and have like a stable like salary, something that's consistent, but I don't have to be out there hustling for
like
it
every single day
and bothering people and shit. Like that's the part of the job that I don't like, and that's the part that's like
and
one
you
of the
have
important
to,
unless you have
to.
a team. Yeah. So I'd rather be under an agency, right, and then do that job for me that I don't want to do, and just give them a percentage.
Yeah,
that's
like
what
Alex
I would rather do.
For example,
that's definitely what I would rather.
I feel like she's the number one influencer right now, Alex Earl.
Yeah, definitely.
But she made it because of her TikTok videos, which required not a lot of work.
Yeah, but she comes from money.
She does come from money,
so it's a whole different story.
Which.
Like, tell me another influencer does not come from money and now they're fucking which there are many out there. Messi. So respect. Okay, but we're talking about sports. We're talking about athletes. Like, it's different. It's different. But with Alex Earl,
let me think.
She was well off before. But if you, so us personally, do you regret the career path you chose?
I kind of do. I want to say yes and no because I loved my experience at FIU and UM. I do believe I learned so much from the courses that I took and the people that I met and the opportunities I had to go out into the street and interview people during elections or even during COVID. So I don't regret it in that sense, but I do regret it as far as I think I could have used my time more wisely.
I agree with you.
So for example, if I could go back in time instead of maybe going to grad school, for example.
Same. And getting in debt for no freaking reason because that's us right now.
Exactly. So instead of doing that and getting, a graduate master's degree for journalism.
Which was stupid because that was our major.
Exactly.
Which didn't occur to me until someone pointed it out.
I would have gone to beauty school instead earlier on.
Yeah, something extra different. I should have done my master's in something else.
Exactly. So, or not even, I think I would have been fine with not getting a master's.
Yeah, same.
But if I would have gone to beauty school as a 19, 20, even 21-year-old and become an expert hairdresser, colorist, I think I would be very wealthy right now.
Yeah, and you're good at marketing yourself.
Marketing, and not only that, I'm very detailed when it comes to beauty. I'm very detailed when it comes to art, designs, painting.
You're very detailed with all that shit. I'm not. Like this week when I posted the reel, you're like, the captions are not matching. I'm like, girl, I be doing that shit as I'm driving. I am not paying attention. Like it's like up.
Yeah,
post, done.
I've always been very into small details and stuff like that. So I think I would have been an amazing colorist. And as a young person going into this industry, and back then it wasn't as trendy as it is now. The ombre, the balayage, all of that didn't exist back then. It was just highlights and color. That's it. Yeah. Highlights,
and
color.
One color.
Imagine now, now as a 30-year-old, 9 years after going to beauty school, I think I would have been banking. And I told you earlier, yeah. I love being blonde. But being blonde is expensive. Being pretty blonde is expensive.
Yeah. You could be orange blonde.
And now, yeah, exactly. So now I want to go back into blonde, but I'm scared and poor. So for example, a few years ago when I did the change, I had to go to the DR to get it done because I got it done here. I didn't like it because I wasn't okay with paying the price that I asked. I'm going to say her name. I wanted to get my blonde color at IGK.
Okay.
IGK. A lot of people know IGK. It's basically nationwide. Gigi Hadid gets her hair done there. The prettiest of the prettiest girls get their hair done there. The wealthiest of the wealthiest get their hair done there. Yeah, it's not about
being pretty. It's about the wealthiest.
Just to set the example so that you know what I'm talking about. The Miami salon is located in the design district. The rent there is crazy.
So you already know.
To be a beauty salon in the design district, you must be...
You're banking.
So I reach out to one of their stylists, which I had been following for years now. And I love his work. There's not one post that he posts that I'm like, ugh, everything is beautiful. The black color, the red color, the blonde, beautiful. I reach out to him and I'm like, hey, this is an example of what I want. And I send him a picture of Khloe Kardashian with her blonde hair. I like blonde, Yeah,
that was blonde.
But very natural, her roots still showed.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I'll give you two quotes, two estimates of how much it's going to be. One includes styling and one doesn't. To me, styling doesn't matter because I know how to blow dry my hair. I know how to curl it.
Leave the salon with your wet hair looking like a wet rat.
The one without styling, it was a cut for volume because I wanted layers and the ombre style color. With blonde, $950.
Dude, that's so insane to me.
And this is without styling. So
with styling, what was it then?
$1,200.
So it's like $300, $400
basically, because you leave like a fucking celebrity. Like volume, they put the best of the best products. Like these people, you leave there feeling like a celebrity. Like if you're about to walk the red carpet,
dude. But that's so much. That's someone's whole paycheck.
I considered it because your hair is something that you carry with you every single day. So if it comes out wrong, you're especially and that's what happened. And that's what happened. Karma slapped me across the face. I got it done for cheaper. It came out orange. I had to suck it up for 3 weeks. I went to the DR and I got it done. And even in the DR, it was still pricey. It was $400.
Yeah.
But it was the same work. and the same quality. It was beautiful. The blonde came out beautiful. I still had to pay for it, but it's kind of like I still ended up spending más o menos lo mismo.
Yeah. If you did it double, kind of. Holy shit.
And I burned my hair because obviously blonde is.
Yeah, I had to do it twice instead of getting it right the first time.
So in my mind, I'm just like, okay, this stylist is 35 years old. He lives in a really nice apartment in Edgewater. Really nice. Like,
you did your research.
Yeah, I've been following him forever, and he's a local celebrity basically. So many people know him. They trust him.
Yeah.
He drives a super nice Jaguar, and you're telling me that one session with one client without styling is $950? How much money is this guy making a month?
Dude, imagine he just probably has to take 2 clients per day.
Yeah.
That's it, $2,000 per day he's taking. He probably works 3 times a week.
Well, yeah. And another thing is he was booked for the next 5 months.
So his prices, people are not faced by it.
No, he's busy.
Yeah, he's booked and busy.
He's booked and busy. So he's making mad money.
Yeah.
And then I think about this and I'm like, damn, like I hustled in college. I hustled through grad school. And I've been hustling since, trying to find that dream job.
You have.
I've been trying to find like a job because I'm not okay. I'm not okay with getting paid a certain amount of money. If I don't make like a certain amount of money that's up to my standard, like I don't even want to consider the job.
How long do you think it took you to have that mentality?
Oh, it took me years.
Exactly. Because most of us start straight out of school on a job and you're like, we'll take whatever freaking pay.
And I don't know.
But you realize that in your late fucking 20s.
And in school, they kind of like hype you up. In school, they hype you up.
I don't think they hype me up whatsoever.
I think they hyped me up. We're like, oh, there's endless opportunities. New York, LA,
UM hyped you up, but FIU didn't hype me up whatsoever.
Well, I think FIU was so distracted.
I feel like my classes, my journalism classes, all the teachers were like, are you sure you guys want to study this? It is not easy. And honestly, from my class, for my master's, those people in my class, none of them became reporters.
No.
Only one was already a reporter and she was just getting her master's because the station was paying for it. Everybody else, no one.
They went a different route.
They went a different route.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's a sad reality and it's a nationwide problem. And I feel like if I wouldn't have been involved the way that I was during my FIU years, I would have regretted it. Because of like the turnout. Yeah.
But going back to you felt like they hyped you up, right?
Super hyped me up. Well, they reason. They have an amazing internship program. I will say that.
And I will say that all the reporters, I mean, I don't know about the master's program, but like the reporters that usually just do journalism, whatever, the 4 years bachelor degree, they do get a reporter job straight out of UM.
Yeah.
For the most part, they do get a job. Now, the pay may be 30,000 to 40,000, depends what
but they get
town
their foot in through the door. Yes. They get their foot in through the door.
I do have to agree with that.
So with the grad program, it was a lot more intimate, smaller. It was 7 of us. And it was also, I will say, it was also during the COVID time.
Yeah, I know. That's
so it did hit different. I had an amazing internship opportunity lined up, and unfortunately, COVID just came to sweep it all away. And I don't regret anything that happened or went down. But I will say that they hype you up in a way that it's like, okay, like even though it's not going to work right now, like still down the road, like you have your degree. You have your degree. And I'm like, okay, like
on it.
My degree is just hanging in my living room right now.
Exactly. And it was
I did bedazzle the little U. So it was very expensive. I did learn a lot. I learned a lot. But it didn't get me to the place that they hyped it up to be.
And you still always learn more outside of school than you learn in school.
I mean, for example, Adobe Premiere, an editing software. Adobe is not what it was 4 years ago. It's always changing. The same way.
I think it changes like every 2-3 years.
The same way iPhones get, software updates, so do these programs. And when these programs get these updates, like for example, last season, you were like, oh, a new update came out for podcasts, like the screen.
It was 2020 and then 2022.
And then the screen, like it automatically, like that whole process is completely new to us. We didn't learn that in school. We had to like go out of our way to learn how to use it.
Literally self-taught, and shout out to YouTube.
Shout out to YouTube. So exactly, it goes back to, you know, it's you go to school and you learn these things, but you're going to constantly have to keep going out of your way to learn whatever updates happen to the program, whatever new programs come out.
Yeah, so it makes you think like, what really did I learn?
Yeah, and now, guys, AI.
I know. You don't even have to use your fucking brain. AI does shit for you.
Going back to the graphic designers, you can literally tell ChatGPT or whatever AI program software you use, you can describe the vision you have for a flyer and it will make it for you.
Oh yeah, I believe
it might not be up to par, but
you could always fix it.
But the fact that
it does it.
Whatever cloud or whatever it is, I don't even know what it is. I don't want to know what it is doing that is crazy.
Yeah, even for, let's say, social media captions and shit, you don't need to hire a social media person, because you can easily go to ChatGPT and be like, I want you to be a social media manager and find whatever's trending out there, and it's going to list all of that.
Yeah, you can ask it for anything.
You can literally for anything.
You can ask it for anything. And now,
so
for
that's
example,
so scary to think about, because
all these editing platforms, they have auto cut, AI cut. You upload all the footage you want and click AI cut, and it basically does whatever it wants and makes a video for you out of the footage you provided. So a lot of people are losing jobs because of this, and it's completely sad and scary, because what is the world going to look like in 10 years from now?
Yeah. Especially with like unemployment, if they start losing. So it makes you wonder too, is like social media management or even this graphic design, is that even going to be a major down the line?
Yeah. And it's also going into other things other than educational stuff, like these majors and things that require, you know, like going to college and all of that. Eyelash extensions. Have you seen the robots that are putting on eyelash extensions on people?
I haven't seen that in the United States though, but I think that's more.
But that's coming. That's coming here. And the machines that you like basically pick the nail design you want and you put your hand in.
I've seen those. I've seen both of them.
Imagine 10 years from now, they're for sure going to make it here, because everything ends up here.
That is true. They're testing that shit out in China and then it comes here.
So
that is so scary.
And Sergio's, those now they don't have waiters.
What do you mean they don't have waiters?
They have waiters, but they cut it down because they have these robots that basically bring the food to your table.
I didn't know Sergio's did that.
It's like these 3-tier robots. And you basically, they look like trays. They put the food there from the kitchen, and they program the number of the table, and it comes to your table, and then a waiter comes and like loads the plate off of it.
Oh shit. So this is where I'm thinking where the money in the future would be, with less employees and more robots. It'll be like, for example, like that, like a restaurant owner. You don't need to now hire that much employees and waitresses because you have the robots. And let's say for a spa, you don't need to hire workers because you got the robots putting the lashes and the robots doing the other things. So what I'm trying to say is the money is in the business.
Become an entrepreneur.
Become an entrepreneur.
Open up a business.
Yeah. Honestly, like I don't have any regrets either, like in communications and stuff and studying journalism, because I did follow my passion.
And you made it.
I made it. At least I can say I made it. A lot of people, they fought through or they found other routes or whatever. But if I have one regret, is in 2020, not starting on TikTok. That is my biggest regret in fucking life, because that was where the big window of opportunity was to blow up. That's when everybody was blowing up. And you know how much like different type of content I could have been putting in 2020? I was out in the streets when everyone was home in COVID hiding. I was out in the street fucking working. Reporting. There was so much like different type of content I would have been putting out there.
That could have been your niche. And you could have blown up
literally been my niche. So if I had one regret, was that being so fucking close-minded in 2020.
Yeah. I mean, but you know what?
Everything happens for a reason, so I can't like let that shit get to me.
That and TikTok was a scary app.
It was just dancing at that time too.
It was that, and it's like it's kind of like it was scary in the sense that like I was already so used to MySpace, Facebook, Instagram, and now there's this brand new app that it's just videos. It's just videos. So it literally went from just pictures and posting text to now we're only posting videos.
But it was kind of like Vine.
I was never on Vine.
You were never on Vine?
Well, I was like a viewer.
Exactly. I was going to say that. I wasn't as posting, but
Yeah.
I'll be as a viewer.
Yeah.
So
To me, I don't know. Videos were always scary. Like videos that weren't professional reporting were scary to me. So the fact that this new application came out, and obviously TikTok wasn't what it was now. When it first came out, it was like you said, just dancing.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can log into TikTok and see a recipe video.
Yeah, or information. Maybe it's fake news, but hey, it's information.
Or see like trending, concert videos of Taylor Swift's tour.
Yeah.
Like, you've now TikTok, you find out anything immediately.
Anything.
Back then it was just these dancing moves and trends, and I wasn't
people lip singing.
Yeah, like I don't know.
What was that app that it was like you would lip sync to songs? Songly.
It was kind of like DJ Hero but singing.
Yeah, it was like one of those. Like my little cousins would do that shit.
Yeah, TikTok to me was a little scary, and then the whole China thing was scary too. Like, oh, don't download TikTok because your information
China
stolen,
has it, which is still a freaking issue.
Yeah,
I don't know where that is right now in the Congress. Whether we're gonna ban TikTok if a company.
I mean, there's a lot of back and forth.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know where that is, but yeah.
Now I'm obsessed with TikTok. I still don't post as much, but
no, it's the endless scroll.
Dude.
So if you were to go back to school and kind of start over, what do you think you would have done?
Well, crazy enough, I started off FIU as a biology major with the intentions of going to med school. Not because I wanted to, but more because it was the expectation that I grew up with. Up until my freshman year of college, that was just what I was set out to be. Like I always grew up thinking, okay, I'm going to go to med school because that's what's going to make my mom happy. And I started biology, and I remember the first day of a chemistry lab, I was like, oh my God.
It must have been hard. Must have been gibberish.
I absolutely hated it. I still passed my classes, but I knew off the bat that I couldn't do it for over 2 semesters. Yeah. So then I started looking into different majors, and I thought of psychology because I've always loved talking to people, and I feel like I like fixing people.
I felt like that was going to be one of the majors of like most unemployment, but I feel like nowadays mental health is so important that psychology and like psychiatrists or whatever,
for sure,
it's like really blowing up.
So I ended up changing my major to psychology, and I actually graduated with a minor in psychology because of how many how far
you got in.
I did it for. And it was this one class that just ruined it for me. It required going to, I forget the name. I think it was legal. No, it wasn't legal psychology. It was, I don't know. It had to do with basically like jail and like crime.
Oh, that's interesting to me, actually.
And I went to a prison.
Okay, I've heard about these.
And the task was basically everyone in the class had to do it. You had to go to prison and basically work with an inmate. Not a crazy one, but the whole being, it was my first and only time going to a prison. And just being there, I was just like, whoa, like, I don't think this is what I want my life to be. And after that class, I finished the semester, but after that class, I was like, this is not for me. I don't want to do this.
Wait, but go back. Like, I need to know, what was your experience with this inmate?
Well, you're not there alone.
Okay.
You're with a professional and you kind of shadow them.
Oh, okay.
But just
I
watching...
thought like they would make you do that work.
No.
Okay,
obviously, the person that I shadowed, like she let me like do some talking and all of that. But I was very sad because at the end of the day, you're in a prison and someone's life, whether they committed the crime or not, there's a lot of people that don't commit crimes and still end up in jail. So in my mind, I was like, this is so unfair, like to come in here after like being on the outside world and seeing these people have nothing and like having to talk to them. Obviously, some of them are fucking horrible.
Yeah.
But then it's also like the ones that maybe did something by mistake, like, I don't know, like a drug deal or like stealing.
That's not a mistake, sis.
Not mistake, but like something they did years ago when they were young and like,
Yeah, still paying for price for it.
Exactly. In my mind, as a 21-year-old, I was like, dude, the world is an evil place. Like, how can I go into this field like where I'm gonna have to help these people? How do you help these people? There's no, like, my words can't fix you.
But it wasn't like you were gonna be a psychologist for people in jail.
I know,
like
but that class,
you could have opened like a whole clinic.
That class at that moment,
It just ruined
it ruined the whole vibe for me. It left me with a very bitter and sad taste. Like I was really, really sad at the end of that semester because of the whole experience. And then I was like, okay, well, you know what? It's time to change my major, but this time I'm not going to tell my mom because I don't want to do anything.
Charm.
I didn't want to change into anything that had to do with medicine, with mental health. I just didn't want to do anything that required going to hospitals, clinics. I just didn't. So obviously growing up, my mom had always put me in acting classes, modeling classes, you know, just as a hobby.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love talking in front of the camera. I love taking pictures. I mean, I won the Selfie Queen Award so many years in the sorority.
Just laying down the whole episode.
Jen is falling asleep.
My back and my neck just hurt for some reason.
It's the gym probably.
I haven't worked out today.
Oh shit.
I know. Okay, so what were you saying?
So I've always been obsessed with the camera, and when MySpace was a thing and Tumblr was a thing,
remember when we used to code?
Exactly.
We learned how to code.
I loved it all. Like I was obsessed with photo booth and my Mac, and I was always into technology and the latest cell phones and whatever. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna become a reporter. So I went through the whole process of getting into the School of Communication, which, if you can remember, that grammar exam was pretty hard.
That shit was so intense.
The grammar exam, you had to get at least a 70 to qualify for the School of Communication at FIU.
And so many people would fail. Like the pressure was on.
I had several friends that took it over 3 times.
Yeah.
I passed it on the first time because I studied. I hired a tutor. I would go to the freaking library at FIU and go to the tutoring center, and I passed it. And I remember feeling so proud, and passing that test alone kind of proved to me that I was going to be such a successful reporter. Like, this is it. I'm going to work for the Miami Times, the News Herald. I'm going to become a famous journalist. And I did the School of Journalism, and I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, it was chill.
It was chill. The people were cool. I was a fan of FIU. And obviously this all happened while I was overweight. So unfortunately, I do feel TV, at least during that time, none of that, this whole body positivity was a thing yet.
It wasn't there yet. No.
I feel like every time I would go to an interview or something, they would say, oh, well, like, you know, pero me miraban como con cara de lástima, like, you know.
Yeah.
And during this time, there wasn't, like, Ashley Graham was just blowing up for being the first plus size model, for being, you know, representation. But at the time, you wouldn't turn on Telemundo or Univision or ABC or NBC and see someone overweight reporting
at all,
or being on TV.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm going to change that. I'm going to be the change. I'm going to, you know, I'm going to steer the way. It didn't go down that route. And I'm not saying I blame it on that, because I don't. But it's a really, really hard field to get into.
It is.
And if you're not willing to move away, I feel like
that's where the biggest thing is. You feel, because I tried for years to get my start here, and I just couldn't until I was like, I'm done with this. It's either now or never. And that's when I left.
Yeah.
But I waited until I was like 24.
Yeah. A lot of people do make it out of UM and into the TV industry, but the ones that don't make it have to be willing to move out.
Yeah, you have to move out.
Whether it's the state, the city, whatever. A lot of them ended up moving out for a few years until finally they found an opportunity here. They build their portfolio, they're real, and they made it back. But it doesn't happen overnight. Just by graduating with the degree, it didn't guarantee a spot in TV.
And it's the field too, like you start making about $25,000. Like, what the hell is that? That's like a part-time. Working crazy hours, doing crazy jobs by yourself, because most of the time you don't even have a photographer, depending what market you go into. Because I started being a multimedia journalist. I worked by myself.
Explain what a multimedia journalist is.
So multimedia journalist is, you are your own photographer. I want to say security guard. You write, you produce, you literally everything for your story of that day. You do it all. You're your multimedia journalist. Plus you run your social media account. That's literally what you do.
You are the news channel.
You are literally, yeah, exactly. You run everything of your story of the day, like your story, whatever you're focusing on, you produce your whole story. And I did that for my first market. my second market, which I went to Fort Myers, I only lasted 9 months because I quit. I was like, I cannot live paycheck to paycheck anymore. Like, I'm done with this. That I actually had a photographer, which he was great. May he rest in peace. Great person. I know, so sad. So he was great. So there I had him, and then once in a while, because I would share him with another reporter, I would be on multimedia by myself. But it really depended on the story, depended on the day. But for the most part, I always had a photographer with me. But yeah, it's definitely not an easy career, and it's such an important one. That's what really pisses me off. Why is the pay so freaking low when it's such an essential job? Like, I call it like not a freaking first responder, but like we were out there telling everybody the news when COVID was happening, keeping the information flowing. Like, people would come to us. You come to the news station, even online, on social media. You go to the page of the news station to find out what the heck is going on.
Yeah.
Like, we were literally on the ground running and doing everything. So
yeah, I mean, you're the voice.
You're the voice
of the community.
So it really pisses me off. Like, why are we not paid as much as we should be paid? Now, there's people, and freaking basically like the anchor seat that have been there for years. Maybe they make $100,000, but like, do I want to make $100,000, like a six figures, let's say in general, after working somewhere for 15 years? Yeah. No, that's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time.
I want to enjoy my money when I'm 30, not just when I'm 50.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
It's true. I think it's a beautiful career.
It is very beautiful, fun, interesting. And I chose it. Well, first I used to like entertainment, but then FIU kind of brought me down. Like, the professor's like, you're never going to find a job in entertainment and news, whatever. So I was like, okay, then I'll take the news route. Because I like investigations. I love true crime. I am a pussy. I'm scared of shit, but I love true crime.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this could work. I could be an investigative journalist and just do cover homicides and shit. And I did for some quite time.
Yeah.
But then it gets to your mental health.
Yeah, it does.
Going home after speaking to a grieving parent, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I've sat down with grieving parents, like me crying as I'm doing the fucking interview. Like, that just takes a toll on you. And
it does.
It's just, and for what? For $30,000, $40,000 a year?
Mm-hmm.
No.
It's true.
And it's sad too, because there's so many reporters that quit. So many reporters start with the idea of like
that dream.
The dream. They start with that freaking dream, and they probably do it for how long the contract is, 2 to 3 years, sometimes 4, and then they quit and they go do something completely different.
Yeah.
Because
it's really sad, because if you go to any of these colleges and you go to the School of Communication, you will see all of these students with the prettiest dreams and the highest of the highest hopes.
Mm-hmm.
We were those.
Yeah, we were those
and
people.
then down the road, like everything in life, you know, you realize what you have to do to survive and the sacrifices.
And I feel like
nowadays
is about survival. Mm-hmm. It's not about doing what you love.
Dude, my dream. It's still my dream. And I should not. So if anyone watching this is in the reality TV industry, my dream was, and this is why I went to grad school, because UM promised the internships. And I was like, you know what? I have to leave Miami to LA, New York. I want to get into reality TV, not in front of the camera, but I want to be behind the camera, stirring the drama. I want to be a producer for The Bachelor, Bachelorette, American Idol, anything reality TV related, because I was always so obsessed with reality TV and just the formula. The formula reality TV always was captivating to me. Yeah. So I still picture myself in that world. And this,
just keep. I mean, have you looked at Netflix? Like, I feel like Netflix, there's literally, it's everywhere. Yeah, like there's always like positions everywhere.
It's hard to find those projects because most of the time when you see it online, it doesn't say what it's for. It just says, looking for a freelance producer for a production taking place in Miami. You don't know if that production is the Real Housewives of Miami. Yeah, that's true. You don't know if that production is a new dating reality series taking place in Miami. It just says a production.
It's just generic.
So if you don't have
anyone to tell you,
contact with someone on the inside, then it's hard to get in there, because overall you don't know what it's for. So when at least me, when I'm looking for job opportunities online, if it doesn't give me the detail of what I'm applying for, I most likely will keep scrolling because I'll assume it's for, I don't know, maybe it's like a production for a music video and it's 3 days. I don't know. When in reality, a lot of these reality TV shows are shot in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's very speedy, except The Bachelor. The Bachelor takes some time. It's like 2 months. Obviously, they're finding love. But
love. You can't find love in 2 weeks.
That's something I'm willing to do. Like if I were to get a call or an email from a producer of The Bachelor saying, hey, we are looking to hire 3 producers for our upcoming season. Are you willing to relocate? Absolutely.
Yeah. No, and it's only for that specific time.
Absolutely.
Like, it's not even forever.
Exactly.
Like,
and even if the pay is sucky, that's something I'm willing to do because I want to get that experience at least once in my life.
Exactly.
It's kind of like I want to get my tongue wet with the experience.
Yeah.
Like I want to just like... I want to be able to go down the grave knowing that I did something I wanted to do so bad.
Yeah, and I feel like that happens a lot with chasing your dream, doing what you love. Like you get a little taste of it, right? And you feel satisfied, and then you're like, all right, what next?
And
What's
you get over it. It's a craving.
And you get over it.
It's a craving.
Yeah, and you literally get over it.
You're craving chocolate ice cream. You have the chocolate ice cream, and most likely you won't crave it for another 3 weeks.
It. And you're good. And then you're like, all right, now it's time for survival.
Now
what can I do?
Now it's time for strawberry ice cream.
Exactly. No, and like, listen, I love what I do. I love podcasting. I like the radio. I have a great time at work. Like it's amazing. But if I were to go back to school, I don't even know how much this position actually would make, but it sounds exciting to me. I would like to do something regarding like not law enforcement because I don't want to be a cop, but I would like to do with like FBI. So something like higher.
Like crime,
but like bad crime, like to that
forensic.
level. No, not forensic. I don't want to see dead bodies. Ooh.
But you want to be...
No, I just want to roll up to the scene with my FBI jacket and look like a badass.
But the FBI has to go to crime scenes to see the dead bodies.
You're right, but I don't have to like do actually like forensic, like touch the body and like you
but
just
you're
take
okay
a little
with seeing
peek.
them.
Yeah, you took a little peek and then you're like, all right, I saw what I needed to see.
That's
walk
a very
around.
Interesting field.
It is a very interesting field. And I think you're well off in that field.
For sure.
Yeah, like I don't know how much they make, but and I feel like they don't work. Yeah, they probably work a lot. Not to say they don't work that much, but it really depends like what they're investigating. I feel it's such a low-key job too. You can't tell nobody what you do.
And DAs all around. I do think it's an extensive period of studying to get that degree though.
No, and you have to move to like Quantico, which is like in Virginia, and you have to do training there. Yeah.
Oh,
but it goes good because you have different departments. So you have like cybersecurity, like you have different things within the whole operation or whatever that you can like kind of focus on.
I think my next door neighbor works for the FBI.
Why? They're suspicious?
Very suspicious. I do.
I mean, maybe. Who knows?
Every time I see him, he like turns quick and he just goes inside.
Maybe he's just a creep.
And then, no, because he drives a Porsche.
Okay.
His house was built brand new. It's like super freaking... You've seen it?
Yeah.
It looks like...
it's like very white and like very like
it
suspicious.
Literally looks like it was built in Pinecrest and carried and dropped in Little Havana. and he's a very professional looking man. He lives alone. And then one time he left his the blinds in the back room. I have access to see through my backyard. He left them open and he has like
She's there with the binoculars.
He has like 10 different computer screens.
Interesting.
So, and then he'll leave town for like months at a time and then come back. And he's very serial. I've never seen him with family members. I've never seen him with, I hope he's not watching this. But I do think he has a government job. I really do.
It could be.
Like he's a scary man. Like I feel like whenever I like make eye contact with him, I'm like, I swear I'm not doing anything wrong.
Don't arrest me, please. I don't know what you do, but
I've been longer here than you have. But and he's very clean. I feel like he embodies everything someone with a high position for the government would embody.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's a cool gig. Maybe kind of boring. Depends, like, if you have cool co-workers there. It could be like a little stale, like a little serious.
There's no crime.
Can't go tell your friends, yo, see what I did this week. I went to this house. This crime happened.
That's
like,
the thing. You can't share anything.
Yes, so I don't know to what extent I'll probably be miserable, but whatever.
I think it's a lonely life, probably.
Yeah, maybe my next life I'll try it, but on this one, like, I'm complacent. I'm fine.
But it's kind of like how you said, like, if you love something, then no matter what, it's like, obviously every job is always going to have the shitty aspect of it. But overall, if you enjoy it, like, you're passionate about it. Like, I, for example, hate medicine.
Yeah, but I hate medicine too.
I've met so many doctors and nurses that are so passionate and love it that it shows. It shows, to them, they're living the dream. They're pursuing their passion, their dream, and even though it sucks for me, in their opinion, in their life, it's amazing. It's a dream come true.
Yeah, no, and they work so long. I could never do medicine, not even nursing, doctors, nothing.
I hate
and
doctors,
so many years to
like
study.
doctors'
like,
offices, and
that's just not it for me. No. So what can the listeners take away from this episode? My first advice is pick something that you're going to earn a lot and not work as much. I don't know what that is. Maybe owning a business, maybe studying marketing or business management. I think that would help you with that category. But that's what I got. What do you got?
My advice is go on job career websites, maybe seniors in high school that are confused, and see what jobs are available, what jobs are hiring, what's required for these jobs. So, for example, if the Miami Heat is hiring for a production coordinator, does it require a degree? How much is the pay? Yeah. How many applicants are active right now? I think looking at these career websites really will spark interest in what opportunities are the most available in your area. Also, it's the best way to see the salary.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure there's like a system that you can see the salary based on each like major and like what kind of job falls under those categories. And I think there's this. I'm pretty sure I've done this before. There's something out there in Google that kind of like lists it for you.
The good thing about the career sites is, for example, for someone who's striving to be a reporter, you can see the actual offer on the website. So, for example, Univision is hiring a multimedia reporter. The pay is $25,000 a year, $35,000 a year. You can do the math. Oh, it's part-time, it's full-time. There's only 2 openings. That must mean that the industry is like a little rough right now. These career websites will really narrow it down with the present day opportunities or struggles there. So honestly, this might not be the same for nursing and doctors and that type of lawyers. Yeah. But for marketing, graphic designers, journalism, hospitality, social workers, all of these jobs are on these platforms. Yeah. So I think that's a good way to kind of start getting an overall idea. I didn't look at this website until my last semester of FIU that I was like, oh shit, okay, now I need to start applying for jobs. Yeah. And then I realized, there's only 2 openings for a reporter and it's in Fort Lauderdale, and the pay is $18 an hour. So these websites put it into perspective for you. So that's my second advice.
Yeah, that can help you narrow it down, like what you actually want to study. Another thing that could be like a really good place to look for a job is like find something that's government job related. I'm not saying be a freaking city mayor, whatever. I always get those words wrong. Major and mayor. I always get stuck with them. Or law enforcement, but they could be other out there that actually make a lot of money. So that's a good place to look as well. And also think about, before you pick the career you want to do, kind of think about what you want your life to look like after college, after you graduate. Like at least when you're 25 or by 30, what do you want your life to look like? My mom actually brought up a story today that she was at the neurologist like office, whatever, this doctor, and this doctor was like confining in her for some fucking weird reason. that she's in her late 40s and she kind of regrets the fact that she always focused on her career as a doctor and not on family. And now she's like in her late 40s and doesn't have kids. She's married, but she got married like in her 40s because all her focus was always in her career. So now this lady might have a lot of money, but what is she going to do with all this money?
Yeah.
So it's so important too to look at what you want your life to look like in the future and kind of base it around in that kind of find a career that you're going to have family time, you're going to have weekends off, you're going to make solid amount of money. There's potential like area that you can grow in within that career, like for a raise, like, you know, every 2 years you're going to earn this amount of money. So taking all of that into consideration before settling down and be like, I want to major in English because I want to be a writer.
Yeah.
Because that is my passion, to write books. Okay, it's fine if that's your passion to write books. Do that on your free time. But in the meantime, do something else.
Yeah.
That's going to make you more money. Kind of like, just got to be smart with it.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
I have one more advice. And that advice is, if you don't think college is for you, then don't waste your time or money going to college. We live in a world where, unfortunately and fortunately, you don't need a college degree to make it in this world. Some of the most successful people I know didn't go to college.
And it's going to be such unnecessary debt. Don't go into debt.
Yeah.
Do not
so
do
if you are looking to maybe start a business, or you have, I don't know, you have a plan and it doesn't require that degree, don't go to college. It's okay. I think there's a misconception of, if you don't go to college then you're a failure. No, dude, I think it's okay if you don't have that degree. For example, if you have an opportunity to go into a field that's not requiring your degree yet, go into that field. Now, if they offer to pay for a degree down the road, then take advantage and do it.
Nobody's ever asked me for, let me see her diploma.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever asked me.
What was your GPA? Where's your transcript?
I feel like you'll be fine lying and saying, yes, I got my master's and yes, I got my bachelor's. I'm not saying go out there and lie, but there's no background check. Like, nobody will know. Like, you really don't need it. And when you have the option of going to community college to get that degree, or going to a university that's going to cost you $100,000, bro, take the fucking free route.
Yeah. Get your AA
Why are you going to get in debt for no reason? Just don't do it. Don't do it.
Agreed.
You're going to learn the same thing that you learn in the community college that the university is going to
teach
you.
Or on YouTube.
Or freaking YouTube. Even more. You'll probably learn more on YouTube out in the real world too than in a classroom.
I've witnessed nursing students and med students studying videos from YouTube.
Yeah. Most of these professors are banking and they're sending their students to watch a video and learn on their own.
Yeah. Oh, click on the link in this email to watch a recap of how... I don't even remember any science words right now. Photosynthesis.
And then do the quiz after the video, and that's it. Bro, you're literally paying for that. Like, that's insane to me.
Yeah, it's true. And use your resources too. If you're in college right now, don't be scared of the library and all the resources in there, the tutoring centers. Take advantage of anything and everything being provided by your college or university, because most of the time it's, one, included in your tuition, and two, you learn more there than in the actual classroom. So take advantage. If your GPA is not doing so well, maybe take a step back. Instead of taking a hard class after a very exhausting semester, take an easy elective, take an elective that's worth 4 credits. Like, for example, French or Spanish.
Yep.
They're worth more credits and you can fix your GPA. Even if you don't want to learn a new language, it's a new easy level 1 language class that will help you boost your grades up and get you to wherever you want to be. But like I said, take advantage of your resources.
Exactly. Amen. So we wish you the best of luck if you're searching for what the hell to go and study.
What do you want to do with life?
What you want to do in life. You're going to have to take a step back and like really analyze what you want, what you see yourself in 10 to 20 years doing, and like what you see your life being like. And
maybe in 10 years, I'll be in reality TV, The Golden Bachelor.
If you see yourself shopping designer all the time, do not become a news reporter.
Don't do it.
You're probably going to afford designer when you're 60.
It's true.
All right, guys. That's all for today. That's all?
That's all for today.
That's all for today. We'll be back here next Tuesday. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, like, leave us some comments, all that shebang. And until next time, bye.
Bye-bye.